No, I said I point out Charlie Kirk.
Yo, what's happening?
How you doing?
So, man, let's get into what you're talking about, bro. Now,
I appreciate you calling in as well.
Absolutely.
And I respect what you do, and I'm a fan of your work, too.
No doubt. But, brother, you know what you said about Breonna was very disrespectful. You understand that, right?
I understand that I should have been a little more sensitive with the last part, but it was designed to start a conversation. I did say under no circumstance did she ever deserve to lose her life. But if there was circumstantial evidence to where a warrant was signed and executed and police were fired on, there is special circumstances to this case, and I do believe the case is being sensationalized for political purposes. And that's the nature of the text.
That's not what you said, bro.
That is exactly how I tweeted it. It was, and if anyone feels is disrespected, and I spoke to Breonna's sister today, and I apologized to her, and I said under no circumstances did I want this to take away from what's going on and the actual fight. This is to enable people coming forward and eradicating poverty, eradicating the real issues.
All right, so JW, why do you think you need to be a spokesperson for Black people?
Because I feel that I have the fundamental understanding and the framework to bring real innovative ideas to the table. I understand. I understand quantum physics. I understand the nature of reality. I understand the nature of reality. I understand game theory.
Black people don't have the fundamental understanding of reality.
I did not say that. I say I do not hear it when people are speaking about the cause. I've never heard anyone distinguish between cooperative and competitive games, and that's the issue we're having. This zero-sum economy, this system that's the problem.
You're veering off, brother. Right now,
no, I'm not. I'm not veering off. This is the cause. This is the exposure to police brutality, the exposure to poverty.
We're talking about you right now, Jay.
And I have a level of understanding that I have not seen in the game, and I look at everyone, including yourself.
So you think that you're more qualified to talk about Black issues than Black people?
Yes, sir. Based on my fundamental understanding of the nature of reality, the nature of reality. Yes, I say that with the utmost respect to you. I dedicate my life to this every day.
You just said that you're more qualified to speak for Black people than us.
On the solution, let's talk. No, we're talking about the actual ideas that are brought to the table.
What you want to do is practice,
and we can list the ideas. We're having an intellectual conversation. We're not just regurgitating shit.
Would you just admitted that you're more qualified to talk about Black issues than Black
people? And I
people.
clarified that's based on my understanding of quantum physics. The actual. Let me speak. Let me speak. I clarified.
I wanted to establish.
Listen. Let me explain. Let me explain.
You just admitted it. That
no, I did not. You're pinning that for your own individual gain, and that's bullshit.
I just asked you, sir. You just said
and I began to clarify and let me speak.
About Black issues with Black people.
And I spoke to you. I clearly communicated. Let me tell you something. The reason why I agreed that yes, I am the most qualified to speak on it has nothing to do with
because you're white.
That would be contradictory to the message that I'm bringing. Skin color is irrelevant. We're talking about ideas. We're talking about fundamental understanding of reality and having the framework to speak about innovative ideas.
You're babbling now, brother.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. You are babbling. You're not saying that you're pointing a picture. No, there's no white supremacist ideology.
We should not let people who are not in our culture get in our culture and try.
I am in your culture. Didn't you just hear a childhood friend of mine say that I grew up with all Blacks?
You're having a colonizer mentality. You say
no, I'm not. Oh, I'm a colonizer who's talking about socialist economy and creating a non-zero-sum game. Does it seem like I'm trying to benefit my color? I'm talking about moving out of this colonization, out of this economy.
As a slave owner.
What? No, I'm trying to decrease ownership and increase equality, move into a truly socialist economy.
Yo, word to the mother. That is never impressive.
No, see, that's your tip. You got to bring ideas to the table. What is your idea? What can we do to eradicate poverty?
The same anti-Black, white supremacist racism as other white supremacists.
No, you have not. You've never heard anyone speak to you about cooperation and love and unity and low entropy. You don't even understand what entropy is, brother.
You're just saying random stuff.
No, I'm not. It's fundamental. It's what allows us to understand the passage of time. It describes our universe's expansion. It explains how we extract energy from heat. You need to be educated by me right now and quit putting up this facade for your own personal gain, because I'm built for this. Let me help you be built for this.
Babbling, brother.
No, I'm not. I'm speaking about the nature of reality and the emergent systems. Having a fundamental. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand the difference between cooperative and competitive game theory?
You're the best spokesperson for black people. What should black people do to replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice?
Detach from the institutional narratives that are perpetuating the system, that are fed to black Americans through hip-hop culture that has been a prominent figure in the upbringing of black children since the single parent rate skyrocketed with the liberal welfare system.
So hip-hop is the problem. That's what you're saying?
The narratives that are forced by the hip-hop gatekeepers are the problem. Like the narrative
gatekeepers. Who are the hip-hop gatekeepers?
You tell me. Who allows
I don't know who you're talking about.
The narratives to be fed into hip-hop?
Who are the hip-hop gatekeepers?
Hip-hop, whoever, the people that speak about the narratives. Like the narrative that they need their rapper to be authentic, that they're not really living what they rap about. That is a narrative that perpetuates young men into believing that to have success in the music game, they got to have street cred. They got to have drip. They got to be a consumer. That's what prevents black ownership and economic advancement, is these narratives in hip hop. Also, the narrative that you should, the narrative to fuck a bitch and send her home in an Uber pool. The narrative of running through women without responsibility is what's skyrocketing the single parent rate. Are you aware of the single parent? Are you aware of the single parent rate in America? And is it a problem?
You're a hip hop producer, right?
Yes, sir.
Why do you produce music like that?
Because I grew up listening to it, and I'm fascinated by hip hop music.
So you know you're producing music that is detrimental to black society.
And at the same time, I speak out actively every day about detaching from the narrative. So you asked me what type of ideas I had, and I began to drop gems as I always do. Because that's what I do every day. Because I'm a clumsy motherfucker. I drop gems all day. I need you to catch them so we can fucking eradicate these problems. So we can really progress.
Capitalizing on black destruction, and then you're complaining about
no, that is the opposite. I'm speaking out about the narratives that are being fed through hip hop to kids in
But you're a hip hop producer, and you produce music like that. You produce that kind of music.
No, I make instrumental music. An artist has the freedom of speech to say whatever they want, and hip hop should not be the father of kids. It's been politicized, for political purposes.
Why is it okay?
The combination of the single parent rate skyrocketing to 72%, and the prominent.
Listen.
Yes,
70% of the hip hop music buyers are white people in your community. Why is it that your community likes to perpetuate anti-black narratives?
That's fallacy to speak on, because we know what type of music that black culture loves to listen to too. You're assuming that it's white kids that want to see black people doing it, this and that. That's inaccurate. We all have a fascination to danger. We have a fascination to living fast and dying young.
So now you're just doing I'm white not say. So you're just saying anything right now. So
no, I'm dropping gems on you. I need you to catch them.
You're not giving facts. So you're just saying anything.
What wasn't factual about what I just said?
I just told you, but there's proof that 70% of the hip hop buyers are white people. White people buy more hip hop than everybody.
And would you not say that hip hop has been a blessing for young black men, specifically in America, to advance economically? And that consumerism allows for economic advancement in that sense.
Now, how does this tie into eradicating systematic white supremacy?
By detaching from the narratives that perpetuate the system, the zero-sum game that we're in, where the rich get rich and the poor get poor.
That doesn't mean anything. Those are random words.
No, they're not random. You're just not aware of the meaning, brother.
No,
you want me to explain any of the meaning? Which you need help with understanding. And this ain't no spinning it like I don't think you're capable. Because I ain't no fucking self-hating bigot with low expectations of my black peers. I ain't no self-hating bigot. I expect you to be capable of this shit. I expect Tamika to have the information to really go out and cut the throats of the system. And that's what I'm on. Some cutthroat savage shit. Eradicating the system. I ain't no Republican.
Okay, you're not a Republican. You were saying some things about the Democrats. You're saying that black people are wrong for supporting the Democrats and all this stuff. So are you a conservative?
I have conservative values aside from religion and nationalism. I have no connection to the flag. I have no connection to any plagiarized biblical creation stories that are used as institutional narratives to perpetuate the system as well. Keep people going to work every day, getting slaved by the industrial slave trade. Oh, when I die, I lived a healthy life, and that's when I'll get mine. All these narratives are what perpetuate the system.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Do you think that Donald Trump is a racist?
I believe he said some things that were retarded, like retweeting the dude on the golf course, on the golf cart. I thought that was disgusting. But the fact is, Donald Trump just passed the First Step Act, which is the most aggressive prison reform in recent history, disabling what Bill Clinton, the liberal president, enacted with the 3 strikes you're out. That skyrocketed black incarceration rates.
So
black incarceration was skyrocketed by the liberal Bill Clinton.
So
he afterwards said it was his biggest mistake.
So the prison reform, what does that have to do with black people?
Because young black men are being targeted for minor crimes in the court system.
So in order for
like marijuana.
So let's get straight. So in order for black people to benefit from a policy for Trump or Clinton, they have to be criminals.
No.
That's what you're saying. When I ask you if
another major problem in Black America is red listing. Listen, no, they're not. They're not. And I'm going to speak more. Let me speak. Trump passed the act where parents can choose what school to send their kids to, kind of disabling redlining that was designed to limit education.
That didn't disable redlining, but go ahead.
And gentrification. There are laws being passed.
Did not disenable gentrification.
Trump has passed some aggressive reform. Now, do I believe he has some white supremacist ideology inherited from his ancestors? Yes. Do I believe he has any business? Does he have any business being in office? No, he is not qualified. Is Joe Biden qualified? Is that who you want running the country?
Oh, I'm apolitical. I don't support any of them.
And me too. And you see my messages as well. I'm about I'm about a socialist. Would you agree that we're better off as a group of people, human beings, in a global socialist economy where there's a minimum standard of living? There's a minimum standard of living for those in poverty and a maximum for the elite.
The only socialism is systematic white supremacy. That's the only socialism on the planet.
No, it's not, because don't you know there's genocide in Africa. There's a major slave issue in Libya. And we're talking about global capitalist economy, which is the white American dollar, and it's a problem. And we're detaching from that.
Happen in Africa are orchestrated by the white supremacists, because Africa is controlled economically and politically by the white supremacists. Now, that's either true or not.
So that's more of a message to detach from the system and the narratives that perpetuate
the system of white supremacy. That's the only system.
And you understand the nature of all human civilizations, right? We evolved as a species in survival of the fittest conditions, and humans have enslaved each other since the beginning of humanity. Polynesians in India, there was more slaves in India alone than the entire Western Hemisphere. But that narrative isn't told. You know that,
right?
We
don't live in India. We live in America, in a country that foundational Black Americans built. And for
exactly, and I believe in reparations, and I speak about real reparation ideas, like giving all Black Americans $25,000 and $25,000 if they pull it into a business. It's all about
reparations ideas. Huh? What's your idea of reparations for Black people? What do you think Black people should?
I believe that all Black Americans deserve a $25,000 check, where if they invest it into a business, they get another $25,000 check from the government to increase Black ownership and economic advancement.
So 400 years of vile anti-Black slavery, whippings, breeding, selling.
You gotta understand that there's been reparations. There's already been reparations in our society. Affirmative action is a form of reparations.
Affirmative action benefits you more than Black people. Affirmative action.
And it's being corrupted. It's being corrupted by the system, but the intent is to give opportunity.
No, why did you bring up affirmative action? That doesn't,
because that is a form. That is a form of the government trying to help black people exposed to poverty advance economically, and that's what we're all about. That idea didn't work, but the intent may have been
because it didn't work because your community started getting all the reparations.
And I'm a leader to eradicating that. I'm not trying to perpetuate that system. I'm fighting to disable that system.
But you tried to be deceptive, though.
No, I'm not. I'm not being deceptive at all.
As if it benefited black people, and it failed. It didn't benefit black people, and that's why it failed us. It benefited your community, but not us. More white.
How did it specifically benefit white America?
Because white women became classified as minorities directly when the affirmative action bills passed, and they got the brunt of the benefits. White gay people get affirmative action.
So feminism isn't a problem.
White people who have 134th Native American, they get affirmative action.
You're saying that it brought attention to other people that were oppressed as well, and that other people are benefiting from the white man's oppression of history.
None of your people were oppressed like
these aren't my people. You're my people. Me and you are the same thing. We're the same exact thing.
I wouldn't say no disrespectful shit about a black woman getting shot while she was naked.
There was no. I said under no circumstance.
Very different. I wouldn't.
No, we have the same. We have the same biology.
Shot in her fucking sleep while she's naked.
She wasn't asleep. That's misinformation.
That sister was naked and she got shot in her.
And that's completely. And never once did I ever say that was justified. I said specifically.
You did justify it, bro.
I said under no circumstances should she ever be shot.
You know better than that. You wouldn't say that about a white woman in any sense of the word. And
hell yes.
Black family, you knew damn well as soon as I had time in my schedule to cover this that I was going to go in on this bullshit here. First of all, let's go ahead and cut straight to brass tacks. I'm not going to waste any time getting into this. I'm going to tell you where I place the blame on as far as black men and black women in these situations where white people, male or female, feel discomfortable to disrespect us. We're going to cover all bases on what you just saw, and after this breakdown, I'm going to play the portion where Brother Reza Islam engaged this white supremacist bastard, J.W. Lucas. But first things first, let me go ahead and give you my stance on so-called white people in our culture. They don't belong in it, period. And the reason I'm saying that is we have 400 plus years of history to prove why they don't and their present day actions. Okay? Now, as far as that's concerned, I never heard of this son of a bitch until he opened his mouth. And I found out that he's supposed to be some type of producer in hip hop, working for these dumbass rappers that sit up there and allow these clowns like him, male and female, to disrespect our people, all because they think there's something to gain out of it. See, if you don't have no dignity or integrity, then you really ain't worth shit as a human being, especially a black person. I don't want you around me if you don't have no damn integrity. And that being said, let me go ahead and tear into these motherfuckers that I heard that was associated with him. Now, I don't know all of them, but I do remember that when this was going down, I was in the live stream. I saw Tank in there. You son of a bitch. I'm talking directly to you, and I would name other names if I had saw them or if I knew who I was involved with this bastard that was throwing the cape on for him. And whoever the fuck his so-called childhood friend was, I'm addressing your bitch ass too, nigga. Because see, we got to clean up this bullshit about this whole inviting white people to the cookout thing. That shit need to go. That shit, see, some places that never caught on, and that's down south. And I'm going to address that too later on in this video essay. But Tank, you son of a bitch, and everybody like you in any industry, whether it's hip-hop, whether it's the movie industry, athlete, whatever the fuck you are, You allowing these disrespectful motherfuckers to come around us and they get comfortable and think they can do and say shit like this motherfucker did about our sister Breonna Taylor. Man, listen. I was raised in a family with a mother and father and grandparents where it was tradition that I idolized no white person. I don't care how nice they were. I don't have any white people that I look up to or idolize or want acceptance from. I don't have that sickness in me. And a lot of our people do. See, that's how you get to situations like this. Because, see, you'll let these motherfuckers get a pass and then they start saying all kind of wild, disrespectful shit out their mouth like J.W. Lucas have. That's how you get to that. And see, as far as hip-hop is concerned, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of y'all not going to like this. Get the fuck up off my channel if you don't. Because, see, I'm serious about the empowerment and protection of my people. There should have never been any white rappers. Ever. Oh, I'm going to say it again. There should have never been any white rappers. Ever. I don't give a fuck who it was. I don't care whether it was going on back to the Vanilla Ice period, Snow, whoever the fuck you want to name. I don't care which one of them it is. Even if they ain't said shit like this, because I'm going to tell you why. You name me one thing that is predominantly controlled by white people where they go out their way to usher in a black person and give them the same amount of praise and respect that you hear some of our people giving a goddamn Eminem and people like that. I dare you to show me any place like that. Look at the shit where the little biracial NASCAR driver Bubba Wallace is over there. And his stupid ass put the cape on for them white supremacists and we see how that turned out. You show me any predominantly white business where they usher in black folks and give us the same respect that they do their people, and then not only give us the same respect they do their people, put our black ass above other people. Like you hear some people talking about Eminem. You low self-esteem having bastards, you. And I'm talking to male and female alike that do that shit. See, let me explain something to you, man. I'm going to tell you what we got away from and why integration was the worst thing that ever happened to black folks. You see, before integration, black people had a sense of pride in this country and the things that we built because we was all we had. And it wasn't no other way to get it because integration wasn't an option at that time. And why this made us stronger as a people, we had pride in what we built. We protected it more. We believed in legacy and passing things down and respecting what it took to build that damn legacy. And now you fast forward to the integration age and we just start letting all these other different cultures in hip hop. Just look at how many different ones have disrespected us, from Tekashi 6ix9ines to the Eminems to the Justin Biebers, whoever you want to name. Let everybody in the fucking door that don't respect your culture and you keep giving them a pass. See, this is why I have such a problem with it. And it starts with black men. Yes, it starts with us because we are the navigators and controllers and the gatekeepers of who we let into our culture by co-signing their ass. When you keep doing shit like that, it should have come a point where the OGs in the game especially say, whoa, wait a minute. And I'm talking when it was 2 or 3 people doing it. Whoa, who are all these white people and these other groups coming in here saying all this disrespectful stuff about black folks? It should have been a meeting. Even though most of these record labels are controlled by Jewish or other white people, now I'm going to get into that later too. It should have been a point where it's like, hey man, nah, we ain't co-signing no more, y'all. You don't get to come in here and do that. In fact, the business, no more. Y'all go over there and do something else and call it whatever you want, but you're not going to get no cosigns from us. We're not doing no features with you. Nah, none of that. See, when you respect yourself as a people, you believe in protecting your damn legacy and the things that you build. And that way you don't have a damn J.W. Lucas in the mix or nobody else, or Tekashi 6ix9ine, none of these motherfuckers. And see, we can turn that shit around overnight if more of us had the same mentality that I just described here. See, that's in me till I'm gone. Ain't no way the hell you gonna get it into anything that I create And ain't no way that you gonna be co-signed by other flunkies like these damn coons like Tank and whoever the fuck his so-called childhood friend was, talking about he grew up around black people. I do not have it in me to let you disrespect my people and my culture that way. So you can go straight to hell if you one of them damn people. Get the fuck up off my damn channel. Now, we gonna go ahead and get into some of the things that this motherfucker said. First of all, I understand why Brother Tariq did what he did. He was operating by the Neely Fuller Jr. method of getting them to say what's on their mind so that you can expose them. But I'm gonna tell you some things I took issue with, though. Okay, this is just me. See, this is a Southern black man's take on it. When I say Southern, I'm talking about dirty South, the real dirty South. And when I say that, I'm talking about Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi on down. That dirty South. Matter of fact of business, before I go into what I'm going to say about him, let me explain something on that. You see, a lot of y'all say there's no difference between racism in the country by geographic or regional location. Let me tell you why that's incorrect. Our Honorable Elder Malcolm said everything south of Canada is the South. Okay, that's true. However, fast forward to modern day times, the difference between places like that I just mentioned, those states, especially down here in Georgia with some of these little hole in the wall towns that y'all ain't never heard of before. And when I say that, see, a lot of y'all, when I say Georgia, you ain't from here, you from out west or up north, you know Atlanta. Some of you might know Albany State because of the college, you know, for places like Fort Valley, if it's a college or school, but you ain't never heard of Cordele. You had never heard of Baxley. You had never heard of Eastman, Georgia. You had never heard of Rebecca, Georgia. You had never heard of Statesboro. Some of y'all may have heard of Savannah, again, wherever it's colleges at. But these places where it's not colleges, these little towns that you be like, man, what the hell is that? I ain't never heard of that. And if you came through some of them, you'll see that there are still modern day sundown towns in Georgia. Okay? Especially Rebecca, Georgia. And in those places, the white governing bodies that run things, they can get away with a lot more because there's not as much oversight here as there are in other places like out west and up north. That's the difference between the racism down here. They can get away with a lot more shit. Cause see, a lot of y'all that come down here from those places that aren't used to that, you come down here thinking it's gonna be like where you at, thinking, okay, they can't go but so far. And you see, as with down there in Valdosta, Georgia, a place a lot of y'all didn't even know existed until Ahmaud Arbery got killed. You see they can get away with a lot of shit that they normally wouldn't be able to get away with in a bigger metro area up north or out west. So that's the clarification when we say dirty South. That's what that means. And this is coming from a black man who lives down here. It's going to be some education in this today. But as I was saying, back to my point, what I didn't like going into the interview or the confrontation with this J.W. Lucas guy with my brother Tariq, shout out to him. The brother certified. He does good work. If you don't think so, then that means you behind on the game. That brother been putting in work. So whoever got a problem with that, that's your issue. You can check that brother's track record. I've got receipts of that on my channel. A lot of y'all know the stream I'm talking about. Look for it. It's there. My problem, though, is down here, let me explain something to you about Southern men, how we deal with white supremacists and racists. We don't greet you with no bro, and we don't let you call us bro. I'm not your motherfucking brother. Let me get that straight right now. I don't let white people call me that. I ain't your brother. I ain't your bro. I ain't your pal. Don't call me no fucking nicknames. None of that shit. We are not the same. Now, you might be cool. You might not be a racist. But see, I don't even allow space. Not only me, but most Southern black men down here in Georgia, we don't even allow space for you to even come at us sideways like that. With this disrespect. See, I'm going to tell y'all something down here. We got some of the most hardcore racists you going to ever find in the country. Down here in Southern Georgia. The only comparison you will find is in the surrounding states that I named, like Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. You know, they there. But the difference down here, they know that they can't go but so far with us in person down here. They'll get bold in groups and online, but in person, they watch their fucking mouth down here. And see, we don't have the culture down here in the South where it's a bunch of white people talking about nigga and cracking jokes, and we just let that shit slide, and not even in no damn song. They know damn well not to do that. I'm a Gen Xer. When we was coming up in school, let me tell you something, man. When you went to school, you could sit at whatever table you wanted, but it was segregated by choice. White folks sat with white folks, black people sat with black people. Now, you could go to either table if you wanted to, but that's just how it was down here, and it was that way in most southern schools. I'm going to just go ahead and put that out there. So what I'm saying is, everybody knew their motherfucking place down here, especially these damn white folks. So you ain't going to see a whole lot of that when you come down here. A lot of y'all off code with that shit. And I heard some motherfuckers up here criticizing Tariq. I ain't even got to, call that name. You had motherfuckers on your panel that was Hispanic saying nigga, and you trying to get them a pass talking about the context it was used in. See, down here, down south, when we hear that shit, it ain't no motherfucking context that you use that word in if you not black. Point blank, period. So let's go ahead and put that stamp on the map right there so y'all understand how our mindsets operate down here. We don't play that bro shit. The second thing, let me go ahead and move to. You notice when this J.W. Lucas guy was talking, they put on this cookie cutter black scent persona that white folks, create for themselves when they start hanging around a bunch of damn coons and weak-minded motherfuckers that they know are seeking white acceptance from them. You heard the part where Tariq checked his ass and he was talking about, those aren't my people, you're my people. See, in their head, let me tell you something about these like Tariq called these yo, Marky Mark and the funky bunch type motherfuckers. These Vanilla Ice type motherfuckers. What they do is, first, they come around you. They start trying to turn their hats backwards and dress like black people. They done sit around and watch Friday a couple of times. Okay, that's where they start coming around you. So then gonna come the field test. First is gonna come, they get that goofy ass black person seeking white acceptance or white interracial sexual access to let them start hanging around, cracking jokes. Everybody like, yeah, man, that's the cool white person. Next thing you know, that motherfucker pushing the line with little disrespectful comments. They work their way up to it. See, I've seen this shit. I've seen it in other places. You don't see it down here much in Georgia, but I've seen it enough in other places to recognize how it starts. It start with them little disrespectful comments, and it's going to be borderline some shit that they know they shouldn't be saying to a black person. But see, the little coon they've been hanging with will give them a pass. Okay, so they start bringing them around, and people start getting used to that, and then the next thing you know, they're like, oh, okay, I've gone this far with it. Now I'm going to build up the next step. The next step coming after that, I'll tell y'all what the next step coming after that is. Because see, this shit go in phases. You got to understand what you're dealing with. The next step coming after that is after they see they can disrespect the men, the black men of that community or social group. They're going to start disrespecting the black women. See, it's conversations that when I was coming up, our elders said that those are in-house conversations. That's family business. It's certain things that we speak on that ain't got no business speaking around no racial group. And if we do, they have no place in the damn discussion. They're not allowed in that. So if I'm talking to another brother and I'm talking about what some sisters do, or if I'm addressing something, which I don't sit around complaining about black women like that, because as a black man, if you got your shit together, you don't have to complain about black women. They follow your lead, period. And you ain't got to be no multi-millionaire, billionaire to do that neither. But if I am doing that, that is a conversation between black men. That ain't got nothing to do with no white boy. I wish a motherfucker would come up and offer their 2 cents on something, and I'm talking about black women. You will get a check-in verbally at the least. And if you keep running your mouth, you're going to wake up and somebody's going to have to tell you what happened next. See, we don't play that shit down here. We serious about that. A Georgia man, a black Georgia man that grew up around some real folks and had a family that was traditionally the way we are down here, we check that shit out the gate. It gets shut down real fucking fast. We don't play that shit down here. See, they started doing that. So if they sit up there and get you the kiki and the caca and disrespecting your women, see, let me explain something to you why the levels of disrespect are going up and why this emboldens them. Anytime another race of men can come around you and disrespect the people that give your black ass life, they know you weak as hell. So the next phase after they disrespect your women, or they finna say that N-word around black folks for the first time. Now, let me tell you something. When they do that, because see, I know this J.W. Lucas guy. I never met him, but I know this is how it went with him. With whoever started co-signing him and bringing him around black folks. You learn how to make a few little beats. Then you get your ass in the door, with these goofy ass flunkies, wannabe rappers and upcoming rappers start coming to you to get your beats for cheap because they start selling them cheap. Low quality work compared to other black people. That's a whole nother conversation. But they start doing that shit and they build on up to saying that N-word. So when they say that and the black men don't shut his ass down and they sitting over here kikiing and cacaing, okay, let me tell you how they know they got you. First, you sit there and let them say the shit around you. Second, if when they say it, one of they so-called goofy friends start caping for him, oh man, he cool, he ain't mean nothing by it. He ain't racist. If we say it and all that shit. And then the most disrespectful thing, how they know your ass ain't got no spine as a black man. If they say that shit around you and women step up to say something and then you start checking the women instead of that cracker, it's on then. They know they got you then. See, that's how you get to a J.W. Lucas. See, I'm going to show y'all how you get to a J.W. Lucas. A lot of people have complained and said shit about this. I've heard people coming at more about what Tariq said than really breaking this down, but I'm going to handle it over here on my channel. I got it. That's why I do what I do. This is how you get to a J.W. Lucas. See, some of y'all need to hear this, because see, down here in the South, y'all can just go ahead and tune out of this one. Y'all already know what I'm saying is true if you're a black man from Georgia down here, or any place in the South, you know what I'm saying, that's actual South. Y'all already know what I'm talking about. But I need to explain this for a lot of people that's probably out west or up north. This is how you get you a J.W. Lucas. Okay? The fact of business, this is how you get a Jason Pope. So he can feel comfortable enough to do what he did. These are the ingredients right here. The next thing I'm going to address. He kept using this phrase, talking up to Tariq, talking down to him, talking about, and he uses this with Rizza Islam too, as you're going to see in the second half of this. Because I had to go ahead and drop this in the middle so y'all can go ahead and get the sense of where your head should be when you watch the rest of it. This phrase talking about you don't understand the difference between competitive and cooperative games. See, that's a deflection from racism and white supremacy. Okay? Because first thing, it's not a fucking game to black people. Our lives on the line with this shit. And when your disrespectful ass get hopping up talking about you more qualified to speak on black issues than black people, first of all, this is a no-brainer, but let me tell you white people listening to this something, because I know you over here. I see you over here all in my channel trying to be in the comments. You know you don't have a fucking voice here. I don't go back and forth with you in no comments. You don't get to comment in my chat room, good, bad, or the other, because over here, I am getting black people into a mindset where they are comfortable telling your bitch ass you don't have a say in our issues. Too many of our people get to going back and forth with y'all like what y'all say matter when we talking about us. It does not. So you'll never have a voice over here. Let me go ahead and make that clear again. But see, this whole thing, when you're talking about you more qualified to speak on black issues than black folks, let me tell you something, white people. And white boy, J.W. Lucas, I'm talking to you, you bitch ass. You will never know what it's like to be a black person in America. I don't give a fuck how many books you read. You can read all our great black elder scholars, John Henry Clark, whoever you want to name. Until you wearing this black skin in this country, you can't speak for us, and you won't be speaking for us. See, that's the other part I'm not seeing a lot of people say. You will not be speaking for black people in this country. You won't be. See, before I even get further into explaining that competitive game versus cooperative game bullshit, black folks, let me tell y'all something, man. Your blackness, you need to start thinking of that as a kingdom. Black man and black woman alike. Do you understand me? That's something you have rulership and ownership over. We control the gates of who come in and out of that. And we don't have other people speaking for us that are not black. Period. And I'm going to take it a step further. If you are black, and I'm going to say black in the sense of talking about biracial people, or if you got two black parents, if your mindset is not black first, you don't get to speak for us either. Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, any other coon you want to name, Roland Martin. I'm talking about coons on both sides of the political aisle. I don't do that partisan shit. Fuck both Republicans and Democrats. Just go ahead and put that out there. Don't even try to read this, because see, that's the other thing they always try to do. White people will look at something and say, oh, if you criticize the Democrats, then you must be a Republican. Or vice versa. If you criticize the Republicans, then you must be a Democrat. Fuck both of y'all. Both of those parties are white supremacist parties. Do you understand that? See, that's what they don't get. If you saying something about one or the other, they always, well, you must be over here in this category. These motherfuckers are actually so demented and mentally inept enough to think that we have to choose or be for one or the other since there's only two. We don't have to rock with neither one of them motherfuckers. If you're not talking about what's going to benefit black society, we don't rock with either one of them organizations. Now back to this competitive and cooperative games bullshit that he keeps talking about. See, when these motherfuckers, these white supremacists, meet that criteria like this J.W. Lucas that I broke down earlier, where he started coming around us, they started trying to shift and move the needle from racism and white supremacy to dealing with that, to this kind of bullshit he talking about right here. First of all, let me go ahead and tell you something about that. Trying to talk to black people like they don't understand what terminology means and shit. See, they always love trying to show you that I'm the smartest guy in the room, but you're not, motherfucker. Because see, when you're dealing with somebody that's black first and just as educated as you are, if not more so, not only from an academic standpoint, but as far as actually being a black person in this country that understands how the system of white supremacy works, we shut that bullshit down immediately. First of all, if you gonna cooperate and you supposed to be a so-called ally, I'm not talking to J.W. Lucas, because that's a full-blown white supremacist. Ain't no suspected about it. If you gonna call yourself being an ally white person, let me tell you something I've always said. I'm gonna reiterate this for those of you who have never heard me say this. A white ally that really does mean us some good is not right up on the black folks. They take their ass into these courtrooms, into these city council meetings, into these schools, into these workplace environments, and advocate for black people there. You don't need to be up under me if you're trying to do something. You can't do shit for me right up under me. You got to go to where your people are and advocate with no black people around you. If you really about that life. See, that's how you separate the real from the fake and the bullshit. If you really want to get something done, you can't get shit done marching around up under me but a damn photo op. That and the main thing that both white men and white women do, you're not really over there trying to get anything done for black people. You after some interracial sexual access. You looking for something that you can have some gutter sex with. That's the only reason they do that. A lot of y'all ain't caught on to that. But see, they know that that's what a lot of motherfuckers that let them come around won't. A lot of y'all can't wait to get up under some white person in one way or another. And it's usually interracial sexual access. That is, boy, some of y'all, boy, that's been the death of a lot of us. That's been the death of a lot of people among us. Some people just can't help it, boy. See, some people can't understand the terminology or the mindset of saying, I'm gonna be black first, and as much as possible, because in this system, you're gonna have to deal with some of them sometime. But wherever you can cut them out and not deal with them, that just kills some people. Especially when it comes to anything involving black group economics. See, I don't keep company with motherfuckers like that. I'm always looking for a way to cut them motherfuckers out of my business. And now let's move to the so-called competitive game part he was talking about. In this system of white supremacy here in America, it's always a competition from day one that you're born if you black. Look at what happened to your black Wall Streets and the other over 200 and something times that white supremacists consistently burned to the ground. Ironically enough, oftentimes behind the lie of a damn Karen or whatever you want to call them. It's always competition here. Because, see, they know that when black folks get together, one thing that showed them is when we are left alone without being sabotaged and we get to putting our nose to the grindstone and everybody is dedicated to actually building up our own people and protecting what we build, we overdo it. We rise to the occasion, man, in ways that they can't even believe. And so when they saw that, they were like, oh, hell no, we got to constantly oppress these niggas here. We can't let these motherfuckers be over here and having economic prosperity and actually doing what we always tell them to do, to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Oh, see, when they actually see us doing it, it's a damn problem. See, never mind to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. We have been put in situations in this country historically where, hell, we didn't even have no goddamn boots to pull ourselves up by. We had to go make the goddamn boots and some motherfucking straps. And not only did we make some, you know, black folks, we stylish with it. We made some shit that looked fly. And they were like, oh, damn. Man, hurry up and get to sabotaging these niggas. They not only caught up to where we are, they damn near surpassed us. And it's been like that ever since. And see, I've heard people floating around the idea of rebuilding a Black Wall Street and other places like that. I'm going to tell you why, you know, we could do it, but we would really have to have some strict rules about how we do it, because these people that's always trying to look for white allies and bringing other people in like this damn J.W. Lucas, them be the main motherfuckers that come in and sabotage shit. So we can't have black people like that in the mix. It's got to be people that's really about black first empowerment. And after we get our shit together, then we can deal with you from a position of strength. See, that's the problem with a lot of countries in Africa. And I'm going to put some links in the description to show you what's really going on in those countries. Because, see, a lot of y'all had never traveled there. I have. And a lot of y'all don't really read the right things. Y'all just go by what you hear. Over here, I'm going to always give you accurate information. So I'm going to put some links in the description of this video for you all to check out, so you can see what's really going on over there. But see, when you deal with people, you deal with them from a position of economic strength. And unless you're doing that, you can't partner with nobody that you don't have a punishment mechanism in place for. I'm going to say that again. You cannot partner with anybody that you don't have a punishment mechanism in place for if they break the deal or agreement you have. And that's a problem that a lot of our continental African brothers and sisters and those sellout leaders have run into over there. You can't be no partner with nobody you can't punish. If they say fuck it and just do whatever the fuck they want to do, you can't. You can be a servant to somebody that in that position where they have more power than you, especially when they're benefiting more off the situation than you. You can be a servant. You ain't got to like it. That's just the facts of the matter. But see, we're going to move right along into this J. Lucas dissection right here. Because see, a lot of people haven't really covered what I'm talking about over here in this way. One of the things I want y'all to look at, if you didn't catch it, play it back. For what you can see of his face, hiding in the dark. And from what I hear, he got a little bed winch. And let me make sure the term bed winch is clear for the people that have a problem with that. When you hear Tariq or me or anybody say bed winch or bed bug, we ain't just talking about somebody that's dating a white man or dating a white woman. We talking about people that get in these interracial relationships with these white folks and immediately start throwing black people under the bus. That's what we talking about. So when he say that, or I say that, that don't refer to all black women or all black men. Cut that bullshit out. That's a bunch of gaslighting, and Negroes know that shit. So when we say that, that's the people we talking about. You don't get to hide behind black women or black men if you're a bed wench or a bed bug. That's who we talking about. But I want you to notice something, man. When Tariq started checking him on his bullshit, and he saw he wasn't buying it, he was like, let me tell you something. Listen to me. First of all, let me tell you something. As a Southern black man, I don't let white people raise their voice to me like that. I don't give a fuck who you are. You don't get to do that to me. As a grown man, you ain't got no business letting no white person do that. I don't give a fuck what the circumstances are. Because see, when you take it there, you finna take it somewhere else. They don't really try that down here with people in the South. Now, you might have some of them at certain positions, especially if they're your employer. That's one good thing about being your own boss. But if they're your employer, they may try it with you then. Excuse me. They may try it with you then. But if you check them and put them back in their place and they see that you're a black man with a spine or a black person with a spine, they shut that shit down real quick. See, there's a certain energy a black man gives off where they don't even try you like that. But see, I know Tariq let him do that shit because he was leading his ass on to get him to say what was on his mind, which worked pretty good. If you paid attention, it worked pretty good. He got him to say exactly what he felt and believed. Because see, a lot of y'all don't really get them to say what they mean and what they really feel. And he got him to do that. But see, I would have had to check him on who raising his voice. Man, who the fuck you think you talking to like that? I would have had to check him at some point on that. That's just me. See, when you out them and this little facade that they put on and you see through it and you know your history, the whole thing about white supremacists that come amongst you like that is to fool you, is to infiltrate. And see, when they see that you're not drinking the Kool-Aid and you actually articulate and intelligent enough to read them their motherfucking rights, they get angry because, see, let me tell you what that is. They see that as this Negro is opposing me, the slave master. That's the mindset they have. I want y'all to catch that. I want you to go back and look in his face and see that indignation like, how dare you, nigga? See, they don't really think none of us are supposed to be intelligent enough to read this bullshit. That's why I try to educate you all when you come over here. I studied these motherfuckers for years. I'm the best place you're gonna get an education on white supremacy in this country is down south. I promise you that. Yeah, you can't get a better education on racism and white supremacy than down here in southern Georgia. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. If you're not down here in these southern states, southern Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, you don't really understand this shit like you should. Because you ain't really seen that hardcore racism that we see down here. Especially outside of metro areas like Atlanta. I want y'all to really pay attention to that, how irate he was. Let me tell you something, all that. Oh, man, you better take some of that motherfucking bass out your goddamn voice. Who the fuck you think you talking to, white boy? You lost your goddamn mind. I ain't never had one of the motherfuckers try me like that in prison. I wish they would. I ain't even got to touch it. See, I'm going to tell you something, man. As a black man, there is a certain response to that shit, and your tone changes damn near like a lion roar, and they shake their ass till they piss in their pants. It ain't even got to be verbal. It's just a look. You brothers down here down south know what I'm talking about. It's a look you get their ass, and they shut that shit up quick. And see, let me move to something else. Let me get to my next point in this that I hadn't heard nobody else address yet. When he kept talking about trying to blame the problems of black community on hip hop, I didn't hear anybody really bring this up and check him on it. Now, maybe they have. I just hadn't heard it yet. A lot of people are doing responses to this. I hadn't heard them all. I just know what I saw, so I'm gonna cover this. Excuse me. When you hear a motherfucker talking about all these problems in hip hop, you be quick to remind them that white supremacy predates hip hop. White supremacy, especially in America, predates hip hop. We were brought over here and put in slavery, and we went through Jim Crow. All of this was before hip hop. So no. The problems that we have did not start with nothing nobody said in hip hop. Now, as far as the negativity in hip hop, that is an in-house conversation between black people. We gonna have to address that amongst us, not them. Especially a motherfucker that's producing and making money off the shit. My brother George Macon talks about this a lot. Black dysfunction is profitable. See, that's why you see your DJ Vlad and this piece of shit right here, J.W. Lucas. They make money off our dysfunction. Same with these record labels. And see, speaking of that, when he was talking about who the gatekeepers and all that are, the gatekeepers ain't black folks. Let me make that clear. The gatekeepers of hip hop are not black people. The gatekeepers of hip hop are these white record label executives and owners. And see, a lot of these labels that y'all see that you think are black owned, they're subsidiary labels up on the bigger companies. I could put some people out there on Front Street. Do your research. I ain't even gonna do them like that. Do your research on that shit. Start looking at those labels and looking up shit, because it's easy to find. You be like, wait a minute, you don't own this shit by yourself. You up under Universal. You up under Interscope. You up under XYZ. I'm just throwing some hints out there. Y'all probably know what I'm talking about. It ain't hard to find. And the next thing I want to address. This goofy motherfucker with that so-called cookie cutter created black persona, fake black boy persona that he puts on. And see, a bed wench eat that up. You got to be a goofy ass chick if you're a black woman and you think that's some type of pseudo version of black masculinity is what you're supposed to go after. I just had to throw that in there. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I had to throw that in there. If that's what you got to go after, man, you are a pathetic waste of a black woman if you look at that and think that's attractive. But he kept using this goofy line. I drop gems and I need you to catch them. See, let me tell you something, black folks. When you're dealing with white people, and see, this is the problem that I had with Roland Martin sitting around dancing with Hillary Clinton and all this shit. I don't care whether it's whatever party you're dealing with. When white people come around us and it's time to talk business, that's what it's time to do. Talk business. You drop all that goofy shit. See, I would have checked them on that immediately. I'm like, man, no, we're not going to do the yo shit. Fuck all that. You ain't dropping no goddamn gems. That's your little rehearsed routine that them goofy niggas that you hang around fall for and think you saying some shit that's profound. There is no white person in this country that can educate me on nothing about being black in America. That's an insult. You can't do that with no other group. You go be black and say that you more qualified to speak for Asians, Hispanics, white Jewish people, or regular white folks, and see what happens. See, you got to stop allowing these motherfuckers to come amongst us, family, and do this kind of shit when we can't do it amongst no other group. Nor do we even think about doing it. See, that's the self-esteem that we need a black renaissance to return ourselves to what we knew better than to put up with this kind of shit. As a collective in greater numbers, is what I'm saying. Because I'll never put up with it. But apparently it's a lot of motherfuckers out there that do it. We gonna have to check that shit. And see, here's another thing. That whole I'm white and qualified to speak for black people, and I'm on some cutthroat savage shit. All that old goofy shit like you talking to some uneducated motherfucker. First of all, man, the minute that he would have started talking like that, like I said, we would have got something established about that conversation from the jump. We would have got something established. I would have told that bastard, listen, man, the tone of this conversation, you gonna talk like a regular white man? You ain't gonna raise your fucking voice at me. And you're not gonna overtalk me either. See, I don't play that bullshit. See, we got that shit down pat with our own people. We got it down pat with our own people. But we let that shit slide with other groups. Now, each black person need to sit down and be honest with themselves and ask themselves why that is. See, I don't have it in me. I'm going to tell you why I don't have it in me. The reasons may be different for black person to black person, but I'm going to tell you my reasons. I remember my elders in my family, my great-grandmother, grandfathers, my great-aunts. I remember how they carried themselves with pride and dignity and what they taught me. So I don't have it in me to put up with that kind of disrespect from no other race of people. They taught me to command respect amongst our people. Never mind other racial groups. See, some of y'all, man, got to get y'all self-esteem up, man. And see, I'm going to go ahead and put this out here again on these bitch-ass rappers. And any other people, athletes, politicians, whatever the fuck the case may be, actors. The movement we need to have on the grassroots, family, is not only shut that shit down when these other groups try and try to disrespect black society. Be they white, be they Asian, Hispanic, white, Jewish, whatever. Not only do we check that from them, we gonna have to completely stop supporting any black person that give them motherfuckers a pass. That's got to stop. That's got to go right now. It's got to be to the point like, oh yeah, J.W. Lucas, that's who you rocking with? You ain't got your beats from him? Okay, that's what's up. Appreciate that. Stop fucking with him. You fucking with motherfuckers that do disrespectful movies like that shit they did, disrespecting Queen Mother Harriet Tubman. Oh yeah, that's who. You gonna go take that role? Okay, not fucking with you either. We can shut this shit down overnight, family. You got more power than you think you do, black folks. You do. You got a lot more power than you think you do. And see this image that you're looking at with this Klansman on this chessboard versus this brother here? That's where we at in black society right now. Y'all better start understanding the game, man. Play to win. Play to win, because it's life or death. We don't have time to be playing with people like this. Black men, our role is to not let them in at all into our culture and our discussions. They damn sure don't get to say they speak for us in any capacity. Black women, after we say they can't come into any part of culture, don't you drag your ass over there trying to date none of the motherfuckers and bring them in. All of us have a role with this black family. So J.W. Lucas, Tank, whoever J.W. Lucas' bitch-ass friend was, I'm talking to all you motherfuckers that support anybody like that. Fuck all of y'all. We gonna clean this shit up one way or another. With that being said, I'm gonna close it right here and let y'all hear the exchange between him and Brother Reza Islam. And see, before I do that, let me say something to the young black men out here. I want you to look at his exchange. Bless the Brother Reza Islam. He's a very thorough brother. His work is certified too. Credentials, as far as helping the community, can't be disputed. Does great work. But I want you all to look at this exchange and take notes on his demeanor, and then compare notes as to what I said as how we Southern black men in Georgia deal with these white supremacists. That said, black first. I'm gonna let y'all check out the other half of this. Keep your self-esteem on a level that demands respect. See you all in future content.
Progression. What's going on with you, though? I appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely. I'll say this. Well, one, I didn't know. I've never heard of you until today. Just so you know, I never heard of you, anything like that, until today when I saw Sister Tamika Mallory, who's a good sister of ours, does a lot of work in the community. I saw her post on the Shade Room, I believe when you two were going back and forth, when she was trying to tell you about what you did was wrong and how it was wrong. Now, I understand all the things that you're saying right now. I hear everything that you're saying, but the only reason why the people are looking at you and listening to what you're saying is because what you said, how you said it, and when you said it was completely wrong, distasteful, disrespectful. Your intentions may have been what they were. However, in reality, that's not how you address that type of situation, regardless of whether or not this may have been a fact, that may have been a fact. Whatever you may feel is irrelevant. That's the only reason why the people are coming at you the way they're coming at you. The reason why I wanted to go live with you is because a lot of people really want to hurt you. You know, like that's what they're saying. And that's not how we're supposed to be as a people. You know, like we're not supposed to be like that. You do a lot of work with a lot of brothers in the community as far as music goes. But beyond in reality,
way beyond that, brother,
or whatever you do, right? Because again, I don't know about you, so I'm just learning about you. But in reality, you are a Caucasian male, and that's a black woman, one who's deceased, and then the other one who's alive. So one, you have to humble yourself. This is just how this goes. You got to humble yourself, because for me to even get on live with you like this, I'm a brother in the community who's been doing this work for over 15 years. I'm an actual activist. I'm a humanitarian. I'm an author, researcher. So I'm not a rapper.
I've read your material and I look at your content as well.
I appreciate that. However, I'm telling you, as a brother from the hood, in the hood, who's also a member of the Nation of Islam, we don't we don't condone aggression. So we don't go out attacking people, but we do retaliate and respond if we are aggressed upon. So the people, what you did, you may not have realized it, but what you did was a declaration in a way of war, a declaration of aggression, and how you said what you said. That's what it seems like. I'm just letting you know that's what it seems like.
That under no circumstances should she have lost her life.
It's similar to me saying, well, even though this woman was raped and murdered, hell, I mean, you know, what was she wearing? You know, she shouldn't have been raped, but hey, what was she wearing? I'm letting you know how it feels. I'm telling you how it feels, because she's a black woman. So there's a lot of black women who are feeling this pain, brother.
And that I apologize for is I should have been a little more sensitive with the wording of the final few words when I said.
Well, no. I think you should not have said anything at all. I think you shouldn't have said anything at all. To be honest with you, that would be the better thing, only because it's so sensitive, because we've been talking about her killers to be arrested every day. They have not come to justice yet. Then also today, I don't know if you saw this, but today, Michael Brown's murder, Darren Wilson, again, they reopened the case. They investigated for 5 months, and then they determined today that they're not going to charge him with anything. So now we have another person who was murdered by white police officer, again, who's now walking free. So this is something we're dealing with every single day. So when you did what you did, it really was like, how dare you? This is what the people are feeling. You know, like you're dealing with emotions right now. You know, you got to just understand.
And I understand that. And
you got to understand that.
We have to be logical with our reasoning behind our thoughts.
You can't be logical at this time.
We can't let primitive physiological needs determine our thoughts. We can't let fear
generally
control our thoughts.
I agree with that generally, but currently, right now, it's dealing with black women being murdered, black men being murdered, white police officers murdering us, white police officers walking free. That is something that's been happening for hundreds of years. And because of that, it's something that we are tired of. So we're not being primitive. We're not being simply reactive. We are logically responding to an oppressive force. That's what we're dealing with here. We're not being primitive. I agree.
I believe that there needs to be more change and more reform in the laws and the policing tactics. But you understand that police brutality is dwindling linearly, consistently. Like last year, there was 9 unarmed black men killed by police, and the probability of experiencing that type of police brutality is 7 in 1 million. And yet it's kind of being marketed and promoted as if it's a common occurrence, when it's
with all of what you're saying.
Improbable. And
with all what you're saying,
the idea of my conversation is
I get that
bringing attention to the real problems.
I get that, and the real problems that yes, which is what we deal with.
The necessity of crime to survive,
which we deal with. We live with this, and we deal with this every day. We're the ones. I'm just letting you know, and like you said, you may be doing some things too. I don't know. I'm just letting you know I don't know. So I'm not saying you're not, but I just don't know. But what we're dealing with,
in my life, I fight to decrease the inequality gap.
I got you.
Black people are specifically being exposed to.
I don't know that. I don't know that. I don't know that. I'm just saying, and again, I'm not disrespecting you. I just don't know that. But right now, the only issue is you talked about a black woman who was murdered. Her killers are not being brought to justice. Then you talk to another black woman, and the manner in which you talked to her was very disrespectful.
And in what way?
Also,
in what way? Because
in the way you, when you told her that you're more qualified, you told her that you're more qualified.
No, you're not. Understanding of science.
No.
Do you understand the difference?
You're a white man. You're a white man. Nothing you're saying,
and you're pressing me on my skin color.
No. In reality, Mr. Lucas, in reality, I'm not saying you're a very knowledgeable individual, and I've heard things you said, and I understand. So we agree on the general topics that you're talking about. Yes, absolutely. Sir. However, in reality, because of your skin color that is connected to the oppressor that we currently live under now, you may not be the one doing the direct oppressing, but you are connected by way of physiology, by way of genealogy, by way of your actual nature.
That white and because of that, speaking out and exposing
at the right time,
exposing
at the proper time,
historical oppressive causes to the real problems
at the proper time.
I'm speaking on the actual causes, the root of the problem. Which
all of that is cool. We actually appreciate that.
I believe that there's a potential for certain cases around the election to be politicized and sensationalized.
I get that.
Political propaganda.
My major in college was political science. I'm just letting you know. So I'm aware of that. My major in college was political science. I'm very well educated on that. So I agree generally with you on that. But you speaking about a deceased black woman in the manner you did at a time when her murderers have not been brought to justice, and she is still waiting for justice, and we have still yet to receive justice in all of these other areas by white individuals, white terrorists. For you to say what you said, that was wrong. The timing was wrong, and you may have said your spirit was right, but what you said was wrong, and we have already been boiling to the point as a people to where we don't want to tolerate this anymore. So you may have unwittingly, meaning unknowingly, have said this, and you triggered this. That's all I'm letting you know.
Triggered what? That's extreme fragility. I'm speaking about
the 435 plus years. 435 plus years of dealing with this. You're not the one who enslaved us. I know you didn't. You're not.
I had nothing to do with it at all.
I get that. But
to my skin color, I don't benefit from my
I hear you. But that's like me saying as a black man, I ain't got no connection to mine. It don't matter. This is the skin we're in. This is the cards we're dealt. This is what we're born in. So we have to take responsibility for it either way. So I get it. If you're doing what you're saying you're doing, all the good things, I commend that. I appreciate that.
You can hear my capability when I'm speaking on these issues.
Absolutely, right? But I can also hear your lack of empathy and your lack of consideration for the fact that you have triggered something that you definitely have to take accountability for.
And I do, and I've apologized.
That's all you got to do.
If my comment was a little insensitive.
No. Wait. Don't modify it. Sensitive. Just say I apologize. Just say I apologize. Period. You can't. But
for anyone
that's all.
Hurt.
That's it. That's it. Don't belittle it. Don't modify it. Say to Tamika Mallory, because she's also watching. That's our sister. You got to say the way I spoke with you or spoke to you in a disrespectful manner. If that was disrespectful, I apologize. See, I would say the same thing if I did that to a white woman. If a white woman were deceased, and I know to you, you're like, skin doesn't matter. But if it were a white woman, believe it or not, it does, because that's a whole group of people. If it was a Mexican woman, Jewish woman, Italian, I would have to apologize for offending them in the way I classify them.
And
I would have to.
I sincerely apologize to anyone that I did offend.
That's it. You gotta leave it right there. That's the first step. You get what I'm saying? That's the first step. Even if you feel like you're right or whatever, or the facts, I get you, dude. But right now, the people will at least appreciate the fact that you just left it at that. But after this, because of what you did, you're gonna have to deal with whatever comes after this. I just pray nobody seeks to harm you, because that's not what we advocate.
What would be the cause of someone seeking to harm me when it was a potential mistake regarding the reporting of the actual case, which a warrant was signed by a judge. Now there may have been corruption involved.
I'm not going into any of the pieces of the case. I'm going into exactly what you said, how you said it about the sister. That's all. So the people are only talking about that.
That's it. I'm pointing out issues for Black Americans being exposed.
That has nothing to do with the topic.
It's not. This is the point of the tweet. It wasn't to be funny and have a singular tweet to gain attention. It was
your tweet didn't say nothing about equality and I'm trying to do things to help Black people. No. Not the one I'm talking about.
All three tweets that I linked together were literally talking about calling out for the problems.
It only takes one tweet. It only takes one.
Poverty.
It only takes one, man. It takes one to make a problem. It takes one to fix a problem. And the thing you did was you made a tweet that created a whole problem. So all you have to do is acknowledge it. The problem is you are a Caucasian male, whether if you identify as or that or not, you are a Caucasian male living in a system of white supremacy that you benefit from due to what your ancestors did to ours. And because of that, you have to
and upend the system
by not talking.
I'm capable of upending it. Do you understand the difference between competitive and cooperative game theory?
All of what you're saying, I understand far more than what you may think I do. I'm with you on that. But right now, all you got to do is apologize, humble yourself, and apologize.
Speaking about interconnectivity,
you don't know. You haven't been watching my stuff, too much, I guess. Right now, we're talking about
interdependency amongst.
I haven't heard of you until today, and the only thing I'm going to tell you today, as my advice to you, is to apologize and leave it at that, and that's it. That's it. The people will appreciate. That's good. We don't mind that.
I'm not in this to make the people feel some type of way. I'm in this to really fight for people that are being oppressed.
Then do that. Just do that.
I'm not going to conform to what the group tells me to do, because the group hasn't got shit done yet.
Which group are you talking about? Which group?
We're talking about is everyone speaks as if the problems have been eradicated and we're moving to we're having real ideas brought to the table. The same shit's being said. We're not hearing the new innovative ideas that are helping people detach from the system.
Now, Mr. Lucas,
that perpetuates inequality amongst for Black Americans.
Generally, I would agree with you, but that's a lie, because we actually are involved in many different things that have progressed us as a people. We have our farms, we have independent schools now, we're having banks, we're having a lot of progressive things going on. A lot of our people are getting off drugs. I'm helping a lot of people get off drugs. A lot of us are doing that. So we're progressing as a people slowly but surely. The issue is that you mentioned Breonna Taylor. You also spoke to Sister Tamika Mallory, and what you did, how you did it, and the way you did it was wrong. That's it. That's all we're talking about. All the good things you're talking about doing, keep doing that. All power to you on that. I'm with that. But right now, the only thing that we all have to do as a people is, if we do something wrong, we have to take accountability for it, apologize, and atone, meaning go through the steps of making it right. That's all you got to do. That's all.
Sir. And that's what I'm doing here. And I apologize.
There you go.
For the nature of the if it hurt anyone, that was the last thing ever intended. Intention was out of love and out of progression, and to bring attention to the real problems that are oppressing Black Americans. And I speak about the real problems. Because I'm white doesn't mean that I'm not educated on the problems.
Of course not. Of course not.
That I don't study Thomas Sowell. That I don't study John McWhorter, Glenn Lowry.
The skin color only comes into activity when you the skin color only comes into activity when you do something or say something that is absolutely offensive or generally conducive to your people and what they have done to us. So when you say something that reminds us of what a slave master would say, or how you say it, how you talk to us, that reminds us of that. And so we're trying to think, are you like them? Because the way you just talked to me is the way they would talk to me. What you said is how they would say it. Well, hey, she was involved with people who were drug dealing. The majority of drug dealers in America are white people. The majority of drugs coming to America are coming in by white people. The majority of people who are doing drugs are white people. The majority of people on food stamps. The majority of people who kill people, murder people, rape people, white folks. So we don't do that. We don't go around saying white people this, white people that. No, we just say, give us justice. If you murdered us, we want justice for this person. We have white people, white friends and associates. You work with black folks. Black folks work with you. So it's not the fact of you being white. It's only when you're saying something that's disrespectful, that is conducive to a system of oppression that you are connected to, and therefore you have to take responsibility for all the emotions that you create and trigger and cause. So you got to back up, apologize, and say, my bad. That's it. And if you're saying that you love black folks, you talk about it, you fight for us and all that, just show it with your actions and don't say it with your mouth. Show it more with your actions. That right there will make black people say, you know what? Lucas is a real dude. He a real dude. You know why? Because I saw him do that. I saw him stand up. I saw him speak the truth. I saw him. The actions speak far louder than words. And if you do something wrong, you really got to work double or triple as hard.
And
so my advice, I pray you do. I pray you do.
It don't take prayer. I do this shit. It's
then keep doing it.
It's no assistance. This
there
is
you
my
go.
intention. My intention is out of pure love for those that are being convinced that they're going to be oppressed in this country.
I got you. We're not of that mentality anymore. We're of the mentality of separating from the system and doing something for ourselves and building our own everything.
And I'm of the same mentality of separating from the system as well. But it's got to be interconnectivity that gets it done. It's not independence.
We'll work on it.
That's the binary opposite of what it takes to create cooperation.
Little Armenia, little Cambodia, little China, you know, every Jewish district, they all have their own separate territories, but they remain equal to everyone else, but they have their own so that they can have a power base. We want to have the same thing. Just have, you know, own everything like everybody else.
I agree that it's all about black ownership and economic advancement.
There you go. So just maintain what you're doing. Whatever good you are doing, more power to you. Keep doing it. You know, if you need our assistance as far as continuing to do the right thing, you have to prove it by your actions. You just get out there and do it. Keep doing the right thing. Keep doing it. Watch what you say. Watch how you say it. Talk to more black folks. Learn more about them. Like, hey, how can I say this? How can I word that? You know how it is. You work with black folks. I speak keep doing that.
Predominantly black people every day of my life.
Then ask them more about our history and things of that nature before you come out and say anything else.
I study the history.
Then keep studying.
I study the history.
Demonstrate it. Demonstrate it.
Right now, would you like to speak about the history of what's going on?
No. I was waiting this whole time, and I know we were trying to figure out why the pages couldn't, why I couldn't see your page, you couldn't see mine, and I actually had to go.
You blocked me because
I didn't know. I never blocked you.
Some of your ideology, and
I didn't. I never blocked you. No, trust me when I say it. If I blocked you, I'll tell you I did.
I remember.
I didn't block you. I never blocked
you. You blocked me.
I didn't know about you until today, Mr. Lucas.
But you were ducking me. You
Mr. Lucas.
You blocked me.
We were doing good up until this point.
Right now.
No, literally, I didn't block you. I've never blocked you.
You did block me.
Literally.
Why can you help it? I don't have you blocked.
Okay, well, I couldn't find you, but we'll figure all of that out. But as of right now, Mr. Lucas, that is relevant. So we're talking now. From my understanding, we came to resolve. We understand each other, right?
Yes, sir.
Then that's all it is right there. Your apology is noted.
Connectivity between us to really combat the problems.
Absolutely. I want to see you prove it. I want to see you prove it.
And I'll put the work in. I've been proving it. Have you been?
I want to see it.
Speak?
Hey, I'm listening. I've been listening.
Every day of my life, I prove it, and I put it.
I want to see what you have done in physical, tangible reality for black folks. I want to see that. And if you haven't done anything yet, let's work on it. I want to see it.
It's not physical, tangible with bringing the most meaningful ideas and intellectual contributions to the table, because that's what I'm doing. No one is bringing ideas to the table to the level that I am. No one's speaking about the fundamental laws of reality and allowing for the emergent systems to be understood.
I think you may be a little distant from reality, Mr. Lucas. I think so. We'll differ on that. We'll differ on that. But whatever you do good, we appreciate that.
Understand the nature of reality.
I'm very thorough when it comes to reality. I absolutely do.
You do?
I do.
So you understand that our
Absolutely, I
bodies,
do.
our physical bodies, are not
Yes.
what we've been programmed them to be.
Absolutely correct. The only difference is when it comes to physical reality and matter in this actual reality, white folks, you are not genetically the same as us. I can stand outside for an hour, you can't, in the hot sun.
And that's
That is a
strictly
basic.
as a survival
That's a
mechanism.
basic biochemical reaction.
Listen,
I'm just like,
and
I don't want to
that's
go
a
into it tonight.
survival mechanism that your
I got you.
ancestors evolved closer to the equator
I got you.
as a
I got you.
survival mechanism to avoid skin cancer.
I
That
got
if
you.
my ancestors evolved closer to the equator, I would be dark skinned too. As a
Yeah, that's
survival
partially,
mechanism.
that is absolutely partially correct when it comes to
No,
physical.
that is fully correct. Do you
Yeah, partial.
understand? Do you
Yes,
understand
partial.
biology, evolutionary biology?
Absolutely, I do.
So you
Absolutely, I
understand that
do.
we evolved from survival of the fittest conditions as
Yes, we
animals.
did. Just like we're demonstrating right now, survival of the fittest. You should learn how to humble yourself, because as of right now,
This isn't about
gotta
survival
humble
of the
yourself.
fittest. This is about
This is
cooperation.
no. This is
the
about.
opposite of
This
a
is about.
competitive game.
No,
This is the
this is
opposite
about
of a
you
competitive
making
game.
statements.
This is about interconnectivity, transparency, trust,
Yeah.
love, unification.
Everything you have to earn that you have not earned from black people yet. You have to earn that. That's all I'm saying.
I put in work, and I love to be an earner. I don't want anything handed
There
to
you
me.
go. I'm with you
put
on
in
that.
work.
We agree on that, because I do too. We agree on that. So let's continue to put in the work.
Any help?
Put in the work.
Any help that I can assist with, anything you
Mhm.
need from me, I'll fly wherever you're at, link with you, and put in any work you want to involve me with. I'll speak
Okay.
to any group of anyone you want to involve me with, and I hope
Now you're giving your word right now. People listening. You're giving your word now.
Anytime that you set up anything, I'm flying to see you to really address the issues. Ain't
Well,
no
okay.
funny shit.
We'll hold you to that. We'll hold you to that.
Of course.
If that, I mean, that's your word. We'll hold you to that.
You're speaking as if I don't look for those opportunities.
No, I just don't know.
Afraid of that opportunity.
No. I'm not. I just don't know. But I'm saying, okay, I hear you. So I pray you're gonna be a man of your word. Let's make it happen.
Brother Rizza, I want you to level up, because you have a platform, and you are not performing at an optimal state.
Really?
You're performing suboptimally. You could be denting this shit way more. I'm the mentor to the mentors.
What do you do again? No, I just want to make it clear before I hop off. What do you do?
I'm a consciousness researcher.
That's what I've been since I was born. But I mean, what do you do for a profession? You're a music producer,
so you
right?
understand that fundamentally we are the exact same thing. Simply,
you're a music producer, right? I'm saying as one of the professions
that I have. My passion in life is informational speaking, personal development, and eradicating poverty.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
The
reason why I gotta help you. I gotta help you. I'm with you. I gotta help you real quick. The reason why people are laughing right now is because they're really realizing you may not realize that you're off when it comes to knowing who you're talking to.
That is why, or is it that they don't understand what I'm speaking about from a fundamental perspective?
What have you done for the people in the community of tangible evidence? Have you created programs? Have you helped to get people off of drugs with actual programs? This is what I've done. So I'm just saying, what have you done in the community?
$15,000 to
I've donated more.
charities.
I've done it more. I've donated more, and I've worked more.
And that's,
what else
have
you done?
Fine. And I'm not trying to have a pissing contest with you.
What you just did when you told me I had to level up. I'm just letting you know. Just
level up your ability as a speaker. Yeah. You're a speaker, and you can't even differentiate.
We've demonstrated.
You can't differentiate between cooperative and competitive games. So how are we ever going to move to
Mr. Lucas? You
can't. Please differentiate between the two.
Mr. Lucas, these are straw man arguments, and these are called red herrings. These are basics in debate, which is something I also do.
These are the fundamentals of
the only thing,
this probabilistic emergent reality.
The only thing
you study quantum physics, so you understand reality.
The only reason why we're talking right now, Mr. Lucas, is because of what you said about Breonna Taylor and how you treated Tamika Mallory. That's it. I have no relationship with you. I don't care to have a relationship with you. Outside of that, I don't know about you. All you have to do,
ideas to the table and moving forward.
You've apologized about Tamika Mallory and how you spoke to her. You did that, right? I heard you. You've also apologized about what you said about Breonna Taylor, and you said, okay, certain facts you should have checked for, etc. Right?
Given the reaction that it's caused and people that have possibly been hurt, I don't believe people are hurt from what I said. I don't believe that.
They are. I'm just telling you they are. Your belief is irrelevant to the reality. They are.
Look at me knows I'm fighting for Black Americans.
I got you.
That's a fact.
People are hurt. I'm just letting you know.
Yes, I do.
I'm a black man. They're telling you they're hurt. Everybody who got on this call was letting you know in some way, shape, or form.
And that kills me to think about. And it's fragile.
People are hurt, man. And if it were a white woman, people would be hurt. Mexican woman, people would be hurt. The point is, it's a woman who's deceased, and the way you spoke about it was without compassion,
See how you
and
even
so
it was
hurt.
borderline questionable. And my intent was there was a strategy behind raising a tent.
I got you, man.
Behind my strategy.
I got you. Your strategy did not work. Your strategy didn't work.
We're talking to each other. Us aligning and impacting the world.
I will not align with anyone who addresses black women the way you did. That's all.
How did I? What did I speak
the way you did it
to her? I said that I
the way you did
more out of her.
I got you.
I expect
yes.
more out of her.
You're a white man. That sounds like a slave master. I don't know if you know that, but the way
you're putting that narrative, and that's what perpetuates.
It's not a narrative. It's reality. It's not a narrative. It's reality.
I don't have low expectations of my peers.
That's good.
Especially black peers. No, I don't.
That's good. That's good.
I'm not a self-hating bigot.
Your intentions.
Low expectations of blacks.
I got you. We appreciate that.
And leaders at the forefront to have the utmost skill set. And if they don't have these skills that are necessary, I'm going to point it out to them out of love.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, Mr. Lucas,
you're not interested in learning, though.
About Tamika Mallory and about Breonna Taylor. That's all we're talking about. Everything else that you're saying that you do, that's good and all that. If that's true, beautiful. However, the only reason why we're talking right now is because of Breonna Taylor, Tamika Mallory, and the black community. You've addressed those things. You've apologized for how you said it, etc. If I were you, I just stick there. All the rest of what you're saying about being a teacher and you're elevating, you can educate. Just do it. That's all. Just do it. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Like you said, you do that.
Ideas
keep doing that.
Speaking takes talking.
Absolutely.
About it.
But at the right time. Right now, at the time, nobody wants to hear you teach on nothing. They want to hear you be humble. Right now, people want to hear you be humble.
I'm being humble.
That's all.
Being humble.
That's all.
I'm fighting for the cause of others.
Fight for the cause of humility. People will hear you if you just say, you know what, I was wrong, my bad.
And I've apologized for the tone of the comment.
That's it. And then we'll revisit.
That it caused. And I sincerely
you did. To everyone. And I heard it, and the people heard it, and we appreciate.
I wish I could hug every person that was hurt and tell them I love them and look them in the eyes and let them know
they may not want that. They may not want that, but that'll take time. Keep that heart. If your heart is that pure, keep that.
Unity and love.
I'm not against unity at all, but your heart, I got you.
Do you love me?
You have to take time. You got to take time. Your intentions, I will love if those are true. I don't know you, sir.
You understand?
I don't know you.
You understand
absolutely
the nature of this universe, right?
Absolutely. I love the natural human being, but the way you operated was not natural. That's all I'm saying to you. That wasn't right. That wasn't right.
To fight for cause and be revolutionary and be afraid of.
Be a man of your word and be humble, Mr. Lucas. That's all.
This is what perpetuates the system. Is
I got you.
Being a failure. Of saying the wrong
Me speaking with you right now is an act of mercy on behalf of the people. So just be humble. We agreed already.
I appreciate that.
We already agreed, man. That's why it's like, you know, let's keep it right there. We agreed. You know what? Y'all heard him. He said he apologized for this. He apologized for that. And he's going to keep doing the work that he said he's doing. He's going to keep helping, keep uplifting. Everything you're saying you're doing, the people just want to see that. But as of right now, all they wanted to hear was an apology and for you to just back up and leave it at that for now. I just recommend we leave it at that. I appreciate you getting on and us being respectful to each other.
Sir.
You know, that's all it took.
It's all about respect and love and moving and
of course.
And real
Let's
ideas.
Keep showing that.
And you're telling me that the ideas I'm not bringing aren't A1 level?
Say it again.
Being a real intellectual, you're saying that these ideas I'm communicating on aren't the best in the game. You tell me better ideas.
I heard some great ideas.
Tell me
I heard some great ideas. No. I heard some great ideas. What we're going to do first off, we are doing what we're doing. You have to be humble, back up like you did, apologize, and you have to take some time. That's all. You got to take some time and just back away and regroup like Tank was letting you know, and just come back at another point in a better way. That's all. In the way that you're saying you already do. The way you're saying you do, that you help the people, that you love people. People want to see that. That's all. They want to see that part of JW. Do that. Right now, that's it. No one wants to hear anything else. You can get back to teaching later on.
I'm doing right now by being on live the whole time speaking about this.
We demonstrated right now a little bit,
brother.
We did display that right here a little bit. We did. I got to give you that.
I've been talking about love, unity, and combating the real issues.
Well, that's beautiful. If that's what you're doing,
I sincerely hurt for. I apologize from the bottom of my heart for any interactions that I've had today or with my tweets that hurt anyone.
Beautiful.
And
that's it.
And I want to empower Tamika because she is fighting, and that's why I recommend
she is a lot.
I recommend that she gets exposed to some of this real motherfucking sauce when we're talking about groups
I got you.
and social science. This is
I
the
got you with the
sauce.
sauce, man. I
Either
got you
we
with the
got it
sauce.
or
I
we
got you.
don't. And the
I
sauce is
got
meant
you.
to be shared. It's not supposed to. It's not meant for me to hold on. If I'm
I
not
think you should
exposing it to you,
keep your
that is
sauce
not.
and work on your sauce. Work on your sauce. We got
You know
ours.
about
Work on yours.
entropy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you understand the process
We
of
can
things evolving into disorder.
absolutely, we can talk about that off of here too, because there's some conversations I want to have with you about these things. Because you brought up a lot of
And
good topics,
and
so
this
we should
means a
talk about
lot
that.
to me. And that was the intent
Yeah,
of my tweet, was to have these
I
conversations.
got you. Intentions may not come out in activity. Your activity was different than the intent. That's all.
My
Whether if
intent,
you
my
realize it or not.
activity was revolutionary in nature because I'm telling the
No,
group,
it was
I'm telling
destructive.
the group, I'm telling the group
I
to
got
take
you.
a look at what's going on
Yes,
and ask yourself if this is being politicized because it's voting season.
I got you. I got you. Well, I'll hop off, man. I'm glad we had the talk that
Yep.
we were able to come to an agreement on certain points. That's all that matters right there. Like you said,
And I take everything you speak about as being extremely valid to me. And
same here.
like
I
I said,
appreciate that.
I want you to hear firsthand. I do apologize if this conversation wasn't the tone it should be, but I know you're looking at me and you know I have love-based intent and I am a real ally.
I hear you.
I'm someone that's really fighting for this. And
I
I'm
got
not
you.
a sheep. And it's gonna take people being non-agreeable. Agreeable people are what perpetuate this system. It's
Okay.
people
Well,
that have intent rooted in love, no
mhm.
fear.
I got you. Well,
Fear,
be fearless.
fear is the
Be fearless,
opposite
like
of
you
love,
said.
and
Got
I'm
you.
about being fearless
Be
and not
fearless and
performing.
keep doing the work. Just the people want to see it. So just show us. That's all.
I'm
I'm excited.
excited to
I'm
speak
excited.
with
I'm excited to see it, man.
I'm excited to speak with you about entropy and other fields of science that can really
Absolutely.
pull everything together and integrate everything that we're dealing with. Because
Got you. Okay.
everything integrates. It all integrates into each other.
This is true.
And
So we'll talk
we're
about it.
here to unify. Hey man, I love you for the
I got you.
opportunity to speak to you, and I
I
love what you're
appreciate you
doing,
as
man.
well.
Keep working, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll see you
Thank
out
you.
here, man. All right.
Thank you, man.
Peace.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you as well.
I want everyone in here to know that